So, is Ceedee Lambs the number one wide receiver in the league? How do our wide receivers go as far as the rankings is concerned? And how's everything going now that training camps are in full swing all over the league? We're going to find the answers to those questions and many more as we get you set for another preseason edition of Fantasy Football Fever, which starts right now. And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Friday night, July 26, 2024. And as you can tell by my little message down here below my name, training camps in session. Training camps are in full swing all over the NFL. We've got a lot to talk about here. We're getting closer and closer to the start of football here. So we're going to get you set. Of course, I'm Tim McClellan. The guy over here is John Flynn, the host of Hooked on Sports.
Hello, everybody. Everybody. I just want to make sure I can get one of the lampposts in front of me. So, yeah, but you can see me now because I'm looking under a lamppost on my way back from work. But yeah. So it's a training camp for a lot of NFL players. It feels like the first day of school. So they're ready, and I believe everybody has opened up for the season.
Yes, I believe that is correct. Mr. Flynn with his don't hate me for saying this, porn star mustache.
I mean, you're not wrong.
All right. Well, anyway, of course, below us right here on the screen here is our league commissioner, John Natale.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Doing really well.
Doing all right. Well, yeah, training camp is in session for all 32 teams in the National Football League. And so we're getting down to business. The combine is over. Draft is already taking place. Mini camps are over. OTAs are over. Now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty, and it is time to talk about football here. It is training camp starting. I'm getting excited. And with training camp started, we've got some hot topics to discuss from this past week, including a couple of stories that have just come out just about as early as today. First of all, the Miami Dolphins and their star quarterback Tua Tagovailoa just signed a 4-year. He's just signed his extension. This contract is 4 years at $212.4 million. So Tua got his bag there. Also, the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, their quarterback, has agreed to a 4-year extension worth $220,000. And they were going into their free agent seasons when this season is over, they're going to be free agents. But they, of course, are both locked up with both of their respective teams. Flynn, I will start with you on this one. Tua and Love, they got their contracts, so looks like their teams are going to be pretty good for a while. I think Flynn is still muted there.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry to turn the microphone off because the car is on the road. But I mean, Tim, just because the quarterback got paid doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to win right away because you've seen just a couple of counter cases to that with the Cleveland Browns to the New York Giants with Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones respectively. But I think in terms of Tua now. go back to the 2020 draft, and the big debate was Tua or Herbert, and the Miami Dolphins chose Tua over Herbert, and Tua's not. Tua's it was a legit NFL quarterback prospect, as was Herbert. I would have chosen Herbert, but when it comes to what Tua Tagovailoa is as a quarterback, he to me ranks. And this is not fantasy related because we gave our fantasy rankings at the quarterback, and fantasy versus reality need not apply in this situation. But Tua Tagovailoa is a top 13 to 18 type of quarterback in the NFL. Now, he did lead the NFL in passing yardage last season, and I think a lot of it had to do with Tyreek Hill's pursuit of a 2,000-yard season at the wide receiver position, which he was on pace for that at several points, and maybe as late as deep as the end of November, as far as I'm concerned. But when it comes to winning the big games against talented defenses and winning games in tough environments, as we saw in the wild card game against Kansas City last year, that he's going to be a double agent. I mean, because I think he's got to get better in avoiding sacks. He's got to get better at handling pressure well, and that's how teams are going to be Tua Tagovailoa. So I'm as far as that's concerned. Now, in terms of Jordan Love, Jordan Love has been way too inconsistent, so to warrant a contract extension that massive. Now he's going to get paid $55 million per year under the terms of the current contract. Now, how the I haven't seen the details on how the Packers are going to structure the contract in terms of how they allot dollars from year to year, but Jordan Love earned this money by the way he played down the stretch of the season and how he completely outclassed Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys in the postseason. So I disagree with that, but that was the road the Packers were going to take all along. So I'm very curious to hear what Natalia and Tim, what your takes are on Jordan Love, who everyone wrote off as a failed quarterback, now is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL in terms of average annual salary on a contract.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I figured it was going to come eventually, but I didn't think it was going to come that quick for Jordan Love. I mean, he was pretty solid for me. I had him in our fantasy league last season, and he did pretty decent for me.
Oh yeah, I think he started kind of slow out of the gate, but then as the season went on, he really impressed me, and he really led that offense to some big points there. Of course, their defense has helped out pretty good. I mean, their defense. I mean, hell, they really gave Dak and the Cowboys some fits in that playoff game last year. So. Yeah, I think Jordan Love's going to be all right staying in.
I think Tua's earned his due. Yeah, he's been with the team long enough, and yeah, he's been pretty consistent. And yeah, you don't find that many great left-handed quarterbacks playing in the league today.
I mean, I don't know if the arm he throws with is the concern. But from my concern is how he plays in most, not all, big spots, because if you remember week 2 against Atlanta last year, he had a total of 0 passing yards in the fourth quarter of that game. He had as many passing yards in the fourth quarter of that game as Tim McClellan did, as John Natale did. So there was that. You had the mind-numbing interceptions in that Monday night game against the Raiders, and the inaccuracies in the game where he got outplayed by Tommy DeVito in Week 14. And then you look at the fourth quarter in the divisional round game against San Francisco, a team that was clearly a vulnerable team, because they were hampered by injuries at key positions, and he threw two painful interceptions in that one. And if he made one less mistake, there was a very good chance the Packers would have won that game and play on Championship Sunday against the Detroit Lions and a division rival. So I think I mean, in terms of racking up fantasy points, he's definitely going to be up there because he throws the ball a lot, and he threw a lot of touchdown passes last year. So, but when you're looking at the Packers, when you're looking at Jordan Love, and when you're looking at the division, Caleb Williams is knocking on that door, and Caleb Williams has an outstanding chance of having a better rookie season than anyone that's ever played at the quarterback position, including C.J. Stroud last year. So yeah, but the reason why I thought those extensions took place was because the alternatives for both franchises, if they let their quarterbacks walk, would have been nightmarish, and it would have led to the general managers getting fired within a couple of years. So it's either you do this or you're in the quarterback carousel for the next 2 to 3 years, because you're not getting the amount of quarterback prospects that you got this past year, because you had 6 quarterbacks go in the first 12 picks. You're not going to get that next year. Maybe because the two or three that come to mind for the quarterback are Carson Beck out of Georgia, Shador Sanders out of Colorado, and he might not be a great fit for some cities because of the media presence there, and I don't think he can handle the media that well. And then there's Quinn Ewers from Tim's Texas Longhorns, and he's going to go into the draft process next year with some question marks. So the alternatives are not that great, guys, and that's why those extensions happen, even though it's inconvenient for the fans of the Miami Dolphins that have to deal with Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers, and then eventually Drake May in their division. And then for Jordan Love, for the Packers, when they have to deal when they have the Lions, a potent offense, the Chicago Bears, and then eventually we'll see what happens when the Minnesota Vikings start J.J. McCarthy. Now, I think the saving grace for the Packers is that they draft and develop really well, and it's not just the quarterback position. It's all across the roster. So they had the youngest wide receiver group in the league last year. The Packers had the youngest roster to win a playoff game in 49 years last year, and now they have a year of experience and now of being in the playoffs, and them being as young and talented as they are. And I think also too bringing in Jeff Hafley from Boston College to be their defensive coordinator, I think is going to benefit the Green Bay Packers because now you need to bring some of those new college concepts and teach them in a way that'll make it stick to the young defenders.
Mm-hmm. So we got Tua and we got Jordan with their contracts locked up. But we kind of got to go on the other side of things right here. It seems like San Francisco 49er offensive lineman and Longview, Texas native Trent Williams is still holding out for a contract. And of course, we have the big three in Dallas, They're still waiting on their contract deals. Dak Prescott's still waiting on his. Michael Parsons still waiting on his. CeeDee Lamb is not in camp. He's still holding out for his contract. Uh, kind of messy things are going on here in Big D, and of course in San Francisco with Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen in the NFC, if not in the whole league. Uh, Flynn, what do you make of all this mess?
So we spent so much time last month about the wide receivers with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and you're gonna see how high those two rank on our wide receiver list for the upcoming seasons in a few minutes. But those guys got extended, so CeeDee Lamb's price tag must have gone way up. And now that you had two quarterbacks that were drafted in 2020 sign long-term contracts today. What does that mean for Dak Prescott's contract and his price tag? You think it went up a lot, Timmy, today? You're thinking instead of paying him $55 million a year starting next year, now it's up to $60 million? Yikes!
Well, I hear all the experts on ESPN and Fox Sports and all those people saying that Dak has pretty much got leverage right now.
And the Cowboys have fallen into this nonsense every single year. And look, I've said it on this podcast earlier this summer, and I'll say it again. If I was to pick the players to give contracts to, and it's unfortunate because the Cowboys are going to be in the quarterback carousel starting next year if this was the case, you give your money to CeeDee Lamb and you give your money to Micah Parsons, and I don't think it's that hard.
Yeah, I think so because we talk about Dak's record during the regular season. I think is like 70 something wins and only 30 something losses, which is not too terribly bad. But of course, we talk about his 7 postseason appearances where he has only had 2 wins and 5 losses, and that's where the glare is right there on his resume. So it's just that in when the lights are the brightest, when the game is so big you can hardly stand it. It just happens that I don't know what happens. He just doesn't really come through. So I'm kind of leaning toward what you're saying. Maybe get CD and maybe get Micah. But if we get rid of CD, then what do we do about Cooper Rush and Trey Lance?
Unfortunately, you're gonna be because if what I believe happens, that the Cowboys are going to be in a quarterback carousel for the next 2 to 3 years, and people are going to lose their jobs. But it's my suggestion is damned if you don't. The suggestion to extend Dak to now what he's going to demand $60 million a year is damned if you do, and that's the thing. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And even still, the Cowboys are less talented and less deeper than the Philadelphia Eagles this season. That there is no way. Right now I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East again. It's based on what the Philadelphia Eagles did. So both in the offseason by bringing in upgrades at the offensive and defensive coordinators and hitting more home runs to the draft. So that's the thing with Dallas. Now in terms of Trent Williams, is that I think this is a bigger deal than anticipated, because now you're starting to look into the crystal ball with San Francisco. And Is this the last year? Is this the last year where the 49ers Super Bowl window is open? I don't think that. I don't think that is a an unhealthy question to have if you're looking at projecting and trying to handicap the future here because this is because you have Brandon Ayuk who still doesn't have a contract, but he reported to camp and is practicing, so it gives him some leverage. So, but I think when you look at what the 49ers were last year, with and without Trent Williams, Brock Purdy was basically a double agent for 3 weeks because he didn't have the best tackle in football to protect them. So that's going to be something to monitor for San Francisco and something to worry about. So yeah, I think there's some issues with the 49ers, but if the season were to start today, which it doesn't, I would be picking the San Francisco 49ers to win the Super Bowl. That's how I think this 49ers team stacks up with everybody, including Philadelphia and including Detroit.
Well, Natalia, anything to add to that?
No, it's pretty much. Flynn pretty much wrapped everything up. Yeah, this is a very solid team. So who knows? I mean, anything can happen. So.
Yep, making it happen. This thing. Our friend Dashy here. We got here Bengals sign Nate Brooks, Hakeem Butler, and Ryan Raquel. Patrick Mahomes and Nate Brooks know each other personally. They went to the same high school together. Yeah, they went to White House High School. Only about
go ahead.
Hour drive from where I live.
And also, by the way, week 2, Bengals at Chiefs, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson special on CBS.
Bengals Chiefs. I'm gonna mark that down on my schedule. That'll be a highlight game right there.
Yeah, and by the way, CBS announced their broadcasting teams for the first 3 weeks of games in the league of the season, because I think the first week, I think Nance and Romo have Raiders Chargers week 1. Week 2, they have Bengals Chiefs, and then I think I don't know who they have week 3 off the top of my head. But I think Fox has a doubleheader of week 3, so I think Nance and Romo will have one of the early games. Oh no, they have I think they have the Steelers that week. I think week 3 is Steelers Chargers, so that might be the game.
Steelers Chargers. That'll be an interesting matchup. I'd like
I'm not entirely sure, but I think they have whoever the Steelers are playing that week.
Right.
So yeah.
Also, speaking of more quarterback news, looks
and
like
speaking of the speaking of the Steelers,
that's right. Russell Wilson suffered a calf injury during practice, so that meant that Justin Fields is now taking QB1 reps right now. So, do you think that could change anything as far as who could be the starter by week 1?
I don't know. It feels like they want Russell Wilson to start week 1, but in terms of playing time later in the season, it could. I think Justin Fields has a better chance of succeeding in Arthur Smith's offense than Russell Wilson does. But Russell Wilson is the bigger name, so I think it's gonna be a wait and see approach in what I believe is the biggest training camp story in the entire league. Who the Steelers' week 1 quarterback is gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I heard Russell Wilson was traded to the Steelers and then Jordan Love was traded there, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be one big quarterback controversy that's going to be very interesting from now all the way until week 1 to find out who exactly will be the starter. So, anyway, elsewhere, back at a Cowboys camp over in Oxnard, California, I don't know if you guys saw the press conference Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy had before the first official run of training camp. Jerry made this comment here and talking about how the fans are disappointed. They've been disappointed for so long. And he went into this little thing. I I'm just going to have to let y'all listen to it for yourselves. I mean, this was Jerry yesterday at the first training camp press conference. Listen to this. You're not going to believe what you're about to hear.
I think that's a part of leadership, is to have some of the guys that have gone before that have been disappointed to share it with everybody involved. For me, it's a reminder. I too have been here 23 years. And it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
I mean, the moment he said that, I was like, what the hell did he just say?
Jerry Jones doing Jerry Jones things.
I want me some glory hole.
And I also heard Jerry Jones said the Cowboys are all in. Well, for the second straight year, the model's gonna be all in my ass when the Dallas Cowboys either don't make the playoffs or make the playoffs and get knocked out in the first round. That's just how this is going to go.
Yeah, man, that's why I always call him he's the Hal Steinbrenner of the Yankees. Hal always says we're all in. That never happens.
I mean, I was a witness to the other thing when I went to the Subway Series on Tuesday night, where Aaron Judge took a called third strike against Jake Diekman, who offends the senses in absolutely every single way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I guess that could be our new little thing for us this year. In case anybody's interested in it,
I want me some glory hole.
So, I mean, I don't know what to make of Jerry anymore. I think he's might be starting to get a little bit of Alzheimer's or maybe a little bit of dementia. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So, but also think about the Cowboys, and I think there's a brilliant comparison that Tally made between the Yankees and the Cowboys, and it's not just the bandwagon fans, so who seemingly decide to know nothing about sports when they root for the big brands like the Yankees and the Cowboys, but it's also that. So that when that back in the 90s when Jerry Jones was trying to rebrand the Cowboys and try to get the business side of the franchise up and running, that they allowed the football guys like Jimmy Johnson to build what a dynasty that proved to be that should not have been that short of a dynasty. And then when Jerry Jones came back to finish building the business, he's been meddling in football operations ever since. And since the '95 season, which is 28 seasons ago, the Cowboys have not once appeared in Championship Sunday.
Nope, they have not. And it's just been growing like a fungus among our Cowboys fans. We just been going through this rough stretch here. It's been a long time, and my hopes are. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that they can prove me wrong this year, but looking at their schedule, I I kind of have my doubts, but
But I think the more concern is whether or not you're going to be better than the Philadelphia Eagles this season.
right. Because I mean, you said it earlier. The Eagles really knocked it out of the park as far as free agency and the draft. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because right now, if I were to give an NFC ranking, I would put San Francisco number one. I'd put Detroit by a hair at number two because of the culture, and then Philadelphia number three.
yeah. That sounds about right. Hey, Daniel, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for watching us again. Dashy says here, that's why Mike Brown and his family let the football people make the football moves. See,
Now,
I
now,
think
now, now yeah, and it would be nice if Mike Brown actually gave the football people money to make the football moves.
right because I think Mike Brown let Marvin Lewis stay around a little too much longer than he should have. But anyway, any more topics that we have here? I don't see any
As,
more.
I think those were the five most significant topics of the week. So
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, there's our buddy Alex. Hey yo. Hey Fizzle, yeah. Just want to let y'all know, Pain and King Pick'ems will be back on the 8 Pills and 90 channel on August 28th. That will be just 2 days before we have our big draft night. That's right. Tua got his bag.
yeah,
That's
a noted
right.
diehard fan of the Miami Dolphins in the chat.
That's right. Fins up, baby. Definitely glad that Tua got his bag here. Well, anyway, it is time now for the main course of our show, I guess you could say. We are taking a look at the top wide receivers going into 2024. And just like last week, we had a list of 50 players on our list. I want to start by looking at Flynn's list right here. And this looks very interesting here. Go ahead, Flynn.
Yes, so I think for this list, I think there's some differences, more notably between the talent between what you're going to see later and my list. But I think the most notable things that you should come to mind are or how highly I view some of the rookie wide receivers and. Marvin Harrison Jr., who I thought it may be the best wide receiver prospect to come out of college since Megatron, 16 years ago, and Megatron instantly produced, even though he was on the 0-16 Lions in 2008 as a rookie. But yeah, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a monster season. I put Malik Neighbors at number 20 because I think the volume that he's going to get based upon how much of a difference I think he's going to make for Daniel Jones and the offense, and he's going to be clearly the number one wide receiver, and he's super talented as well. And I thought the Giants hit a home run with that pick at number 6 in the draft, and then. Lad McConkey of the Chargers. Yes, it's not a drill. I think Lad McConkey being the Chargers' number one wide receiver, and I think he's going to be by the end of the season. I think he's going to put up some big numbers if and when the Chargers let Justin Herbert rip it out. So I think those are the most notable things you should take away from the first top 25 on my list. I have Tyreek Hill at number 3, despite the season that he had last year, because I did weigh a little bit of the playoff schedule so basically,
Yeah.
it's for most of you, it's going to be weeks 15 through 17, and it's pretty damn hard. They play the Texans, the 49ers, and the Browns. So he's going to have tough matchups against Derek Stingley Jr., Charvarius Ward, and Denzel Ward. So and as we saw down the stretch of the season last year, when Tua had to go up against Sauce Gardner and Deron Bland and Marlon Humphrey or Brandon Stevens for Baltimore, that he was reduced to being the double agent for fantasy owners expecting 20 plus points from a wide receiver that was going for 2,000 yards at that point. So I think Justin Jefferson's going to have is going to be back to where he was, and I think the illusion of him being downgraded is based upon the fact that he was hurt last year, and Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb were unbelievable, and both Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb deserved first team All Pro at the wide receiver position last year. Then Jamar Chase, who signed the contract extension. You'll get Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, both running slightly behind CeeDee Lamb. Then I put A.J. Brown over Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Kellen Moore, the new offensive coordinator, is going to have Jalen Hurts throw the ball a little bit more. So I think you look at A.J. Brown, number 5 is fair. Then Devontae Smith, number 21. I think he's going to be a solid WR2 if you're in a 12-team league. So you have that. And then you have Garrett Wilson, who I debated between him and Amon-Ra St. Brown for 6 and 7 because of Aaron Rodgers at number 6. Puka Nacua at number 8. Marvin Harrison Jr., as I mentioned, taking the number 9 spot. I do like Mike Evans at number 10. I think we kind of forget that Mike Evans has had 10 straight seasons of 1,000 or more yards receiving to start his NFL career, and he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, probably, and most likely a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. I think he's going to be in for another 1,000-yard season with Baker Mayfield throwing the ball to him. I put Michael Pittman Jr. in at number 11. I put Devontae Adams at 12, and Nico Collins, Drake London. Then Ayuk, then DK Metcalf. The first of the Bears trio of wide receivers I have ranked number 18 with DJ Moore. So then Deebo Samuel. Now, could that ranking change between now and the start of the season with the Brandon Ayuk situation? Maybe, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Then I put Neighbors, then Devontae Smith, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle, and remember Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, who's in camp right now. Then Vlad McConkey rounds out my top 25. Now, Timmy, if you can get number 26 to 50 up, if you can, please. Yeah, and then we're gonna keep going down the list. We got Amari Cooper. We have Stephon Diggs. I'm actually a little surprised that I rated Stephon Diggs that low, but I think it speaks to the amount of depth that the wide receiver position has this upcoming season, because you have so many teams that have legit number 1 wide receivers. So then you have that. Then you have Tank Dell, Zay Flowers down at 30, Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson. I ranked a little bit higher because I think he's going to get more of a volume with Adam Thielen fading by a lot, given where he was 2 years ago with the Vikings. Yeah, he wasn't even consideration for my list. Then you have Christian Watson. Then I put the 2 Titans receivers outside the top 32. So DeAndre Hopkins at 35. Calvin Ridley, I knocked him all the way down to number 41. So then I have 3 Chiefs receivers, Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice, and Xavier Worthy, because I think it's going to be a case of spread the wealth. which I think is going to be how the Chiefs are going to have to win some games this season by trying to play around with different matchups. The Jaden Reed, who had an outstanding second half of the season last season, he'll be up to number 37, and if he continues to play at a high level, I would not be surprised if he winds up in the top 25 by the end of the season. But Jaden Reed's definitely someone you want to snag at a good value if it's there within with late in the draft, like the eighth, ninth, or 10th round, if he's available. That would be excellent value. Terry McLaurin, Washington, 39. Jordan Addison, Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton. I like Keon Coleman more than most. I think Keon Coleman. I think so. With what the Bills subtracted this offseason, Josh Allen needs somebody to throw the ball to. So you got to put him higher than barely cracking the top 50. Then I have Rumble Doomsday at 44. Then I have Jackson Smith and Jigba and Tyler Lockett, two of Seattle's receivers at 45 and 46. Brian Thomas Jr. at 47. Xavier Worthy, I think is gonna. I don't know if Xavier Worthy is gonna be in standard leagues. Or Xavier Worthy would might not make it, but. I think this is an overall ranking. That if this was PPR, this would be a little bit lower, but definitely a danger threat. And there's a reason the Chiefs traded up to draft him and have the Bills the trade partner. And then I round out the list with Joshua Downs and Rashid Shaheed from the Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints, respectively.
Very interesting list, I will say there. I can see Xavier Worthy going here. Let's go back to your first part of the list here. It looks like that Tyreek Hill. Yeah, top 10 looks very good, very good. And we got Deebo Samuel. He's decided he was going to stay with the Niners. Brandon Ayuk, yeah, he decided to stay along with them. So, I can actually see if Rashid Rice is suspended for that incident that he had a few months ago, then bump Xavier Worthy up a little bit to maybe get some targets along with Marquise Brown. And Zay Flowers at number 30. I kind of like that. I was so impressed with that kid. He is destined to be an all-pro. I mean, I'm telling you about that. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I think they still got a lot left in the tank. And this young rookie Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think he could complement that quite well a little bit.
So this is actually year number 2 of Jackson Smith-Njigba because there was a run at wide receivers in the draft last season with Jackson Smith-Njigba, Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, and it's in that you have that. So
yep. So now let's go ahead and get Mr. Natali's list, starting with his first 25 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks kind of similar there, Natalie.
Yeah, this was a very close one. Like 1 and 2, I think, are very interchangeable. You can make an argument for both. I mean, Hill, he only had 50, I think, receiving yards more. I think their touchdowns were essentially equal. Tyreek Hill led by 1 there. It was by the narrowest of margins. I saw on ESPN, like their own rankings, they were 1 and 2 across the board. So it was really a coin flip for me. So I just took Tyreek Hill because I think he's slightly faster. I gave him the speed advantage. And then, yeah, I think 3, I put Jamar Chase. I think that was a pretty safe one there. Same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I docked Justin Jefferson a little bit. I mean, he missed some time, and even when he was healthy, he wasn't as solid as he was compared to previous seasons. I mean, 6, AJ Brown. I think that's a very good spot there. I mean, the Eagles are one of the best teams in the league and one of the best wide receivers there. Yeah, Puka Nacua, I like him at number 7. Ever since he stepped in for Cooper Kupp, he's been one of the best receivers in the game. Yeah, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I mean, he's the best Jets receiver there, clear number 1 target. Yeah, Devontae Adams, basically the same thing. He's the Raiders' best player. And then, number 10, it was a kind of a toss-up. I was considering several names, but I ended up picking Olave. I simply think between the Saints, the Bucks, and the Colts, the Saints are the better team. So that's why he closes out the top 10. For me, I had a rough time putting Marvin Harrison Jr. in the top 10. I mean, for me, I personally don't like to put rookies in the top 10. I need right out of the gate. I need him to play an actual NFL game first before I can consider putting them higher. That's just my theory. Yeah. If you want to make the top 10, you have to prove it.
Right.
I think 14 is a safe spot for now. Yeah, Metcalf, although he's aging a bit, I still think he has something left in the tank. I still see him as a top 20. Drake London, I'll give credit where credit is due. I wasn't expecting much from him, but he proved me wrong. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk, I think, he's the clear number 1 target over Debo. Let's see. I mean, Stephon Diggs. I mean, normally he would probably be a top 10, but this receiving core is so stacked, he was really hard to rank. Let's see. Like I said about Debo, I think Brandon Ayuk is slightly better. Devonta Smith. That was a hard one, but I think he's come through in the clutch when AJ Brown was having bad games.
So I think you make a brilliant point, Natalie, by putting Devontae Smith in there because I could have made the argument as well about Devontae Smith being the top 20. He was not in my top 20 because I think Malik Neighbors is going to have a bigger volume. But Devontae Smith in a Kellen Moore run offense has a lot of value and a lot of upside. That's a great point by putting him up there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And I loved what I saw from Zay Flowers. Very solid rookie season last season. He can rush too in a pinch. He just misses the top 20 for me. I mean, Cooper Kupp, I think his age is starting to catch up to him, his injuries. I couldn't put him in the top 20. T. Higgins is your solid number 2, so he's the middle of the.
All right.
And that's 1 through 25. Now I'm ready for the next page.
All righty then. Let's see, 26 through 50. Interesting names there.
What notable names I have on here?
See Calvin Ridley at 26, with his teammate DeAndre Hopkins at 37.
Mm-hmm. DeAndre Hopkins, I will say this, he is no longer my secret weapon. I had a rough time with him for the past couple seasons, and that's it. I can't handle him anymore. I start him. He has a bad game. I bench him. He has a good game. I can never figure the dude out. So I definitely, he's no longer a top 30 player. And Malik Neighbors, I got to put him in the middle of the pack for now. Like I have my philosophy. If you want to be a top 10 or top 20 rookie player, you got to show me. I can't judge you without having a single game in the NFL yet. George Pickens, I think he's been pretty solid since Deontay Johnson left the team. Rashee Rice. I think he's my dark horse player here. I could see him just cracking the top 30 if he has a solid season, assuming he doesn't miss time. But we'll see what happens there. Yeah, Tank Dell. I think he's going to crack the top 30. He's got potential. Just the injury he had held him back, and which otherwise would have been a very solid season. I think Chris Godwin, I think age is catching up to him a bit. Mike Evans is the far superior choice. Christian Kirk, I mean, although it appears he's their top receiver for now, this class of players above is far too talented. Yeah, Keenan Allen, he's a veteran player, so he's probably not the same player he once was, but with a new team, we'll see. Skip. Mari Cooper, I think he's starting to age a little bit, but I think he still has something left in the tank.
Yeah.
And what I said about DeAndre Hopkins, no longer the secret weapon for me. I have no intentions of drafting him this time unless I absolutely have to. Cortland Sutton, I haven't picked a Bronco player yet. Yeah, basically the same thing for Green Bay. Didn't throw any Green Bay players in there, so he's just thrown in. Yeah, Jordan Addison, he did pretty well for me last season, so yeah, why not? I'll throw him in the top 40. Let's say. And yeah, Jackson Smith-Njigba, I do think he takes the number 2 slot away from Tyler Lockett now. Lockett's aging. But should DK Metcalf suffer another injury, I think Smith-Njigba could easily get that number 1 receiver role and move up a few spots here. But then the rest of these guys, basically 46 through 50, they're kind of a flip of a coin here. Jacoby Myers, we'll see. I'm kind of skeptical, but we'll see how it goes. Number 2 target, maybe even number 1 if Rashee Rice was to miss time. And then closing out, we'll see how these rookies do. Keon Coleman and Lade McConkey, if they do very well, I think they could reach the early 40s or even the bottom part of the 30s. And then closing out, it was just a random player, Jerry Jeudy. I had to pick someone. So I'm like, all right, I'll just pick you.
Okay, well, I guess
my
just throw someone in. We're at number 50, I guess. So, well, anyway, it's time to get to my list now. I'm going to start with CeeDee Lamb at number 1. Hopefully he'll get his contract pretty soon. Tyreek Hill still the fastest man, in my opinion, in the league. Jamar Chase at number 30. He and Joe Burrow, I think, are going to have a pretty good season. Amon-Ra St. Brown, another great season. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Devontae Adams. I believe they'll all have great seasons, as well as maybe Michael Pittman, hopefully improving to helping out that Colts defense. Mike Evans, he's still a good player. I think he's still got something in the tank. Marvin Harrison Jr., if I had to pick like an early favorite for NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year, it might be him. Just have to see how that happens. Drake London, he's going to have a gunslinger getting to him. Nico Collins, he and CJ Stroud have made pretty good strides in their first year together. I got DK Metcalf at number 16. Then I got Ayuk and Samuel back-to-back 17-18 with the Niners. In my opinion, the Niners are still the best team in the NFC until further notice. Give a slight edge over Philadelphia, and I might put Detroit at number 3. DJ Moore, hopefully he can build some chemistry with Jaden Was it Jaden Williams? Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Jaden Daniels.
That's right. Hopefully they'll be able to make a good rapport with them. Stephon Diggs, another great veteran weapon now with the Houston Texans. Devontae Smith, he's going to help build that Eagles offense to be a lot better than they were last year. I got Jalen Waddle in there at number 22. Cooper Cup runneth over, and I think he may runneth over this year, as well as Zay Flowers of the Baltimore Ravens. I totally love this guy. He is a great receiver. Malik Neighbors at 25. Hopefully the Giants can really do something this year. And taking a look at my bottom list here, I got Ridley at 26, got T. Higgins at 27. George Pickens with the Steelers. Whether he builds a rapport with Russell Wilson or maybe Justin Fields, see how that goes. Chris Godwin, of course, will complement Mike Evans very well in Tampa Bay. Tank Dell coming back. He'll be coming back from an injury, so he should be good to go. Keenan Allen with the Bears. And as Natalie said, Amari Cooper is maybe aging a little bit. DeAndre Hopkins, kind of see him going slightly down a little bit. Rashee Rice at number 34. That is my tentative position for him right here, pending either if he gets a suspension or a non-suspension. Deontay Johnson for Carolina. I got Terry McLaurin for the Commanders, who I think has done pretty good for their offense over the last couple of years. Christian Kirk with the Jags. Jordan Addison, who has complimented Justin Jefferson very well. Got Cortland Sutton in there at number 39 with Denver. Then another case of teammates back-to-back, Christian Watson and Jaden Reed. Some good deep wideout weapons for Jordan Love here. I got Jackson Smith-Njigba for Seattle. At number 42, he could probably be a good slot receiver if they want to put him in that position. Mike Williams be getting a lot of good passes from Aaron Rodgers. Tyler Lockett, 44 with Seahawks. Marquise Brown. Depending on the Rice thing. Of course, you all know that. Roma Dunze, I'm looking for him to be a pretty good receiver at his rookie year, as well as Xavier Worthy, based on the Rashee Rice situation. Lad McConkey with the Chargers. Then I finished up at number 49 with Keon Coleman for the Bills. Obviously, they had to fill a big spot where Stephon Diggs left. So hopefully Keon Coleman will fit in well with that system with Josh. Oh my gosh.
Josh Allen.
That's right. Josh Allen. His name was on the tip of my tongue right there. And rounding out my 50, I got Brian Thomas Jr. with the Jaguars.
Yes, so Tim finishes rounds out 46 through 50 are all rookie wide receivers, and including the rest of the first round receivers, and then picks 33 and 34 in the draft. So all top 35 players in the draft this past spring.
Yeah.
And it also gives credence to how amazing the wide receiver draft class was last year. The year leading up to the draft.
Oh yeah, but I'm looking at this list now. Kind of want to look at some notable names that kind of maybe or maybe not made our list here. Natalie had Jerry Judy at number 50 on his list. ESPN had him at number 52. Gabe Davis for the Jaguars, the former Bills receiver, is at number 53. Jacoby Myers at 54. And we got this guy. ESPN had him at number 55 here. Yeah, they had Adam Thielen at number 55, Curtis Samuel at 56. Looking down a little bit, Rashid Shaheed for the Saints, they had at number 58. Romeo Dobbs for Green Bay, they had him at 62. They had Brandon Cooks for the Cowboys, they had him at number 67. Josh Downs from Indianapolis, I have at number 70. Ricky Pearsall, the rookie for the Niners, they have him at 72. Demarcus Robinson for the Rams at 73. Tyler Boyd at 75 of Tennessee. They got the Giants receiver Darius Slayton at number 76. And DJ Chark Jr. for the Chargers, they're at 78. Zay Jones for the Cardinals at 79. Jalen Tolbert for the Cowboys, he's at number 81. Rondale Moore for the Falcons, number at 86. Odell Beckham Jr. for the Dolphins at 87. Luke McCaffrey, 88. Jalen McMillan at 89. And Dontavion Wicks for Green Bay at number 90. So those are some notable names that didn't make our list. Sounds interesting, though. So I guess we'll just see what happens when the season starts and see how the receivers do during their camp. Oh, you came up with a question.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just go ahead.
It is wide receiver related.
And it is wide receiver related. So, all right. So let's see if Mr. Natali can stump myself and Mr. Flynn and any of you out there watching. So go ahead.
All right. Well, here's something interesting here. Calvin Johnson and Lance Allworth were tied for the most games with 200 plus receiving yards with 5 games. So with that, my question is going to be, there is one player who accomplished that feat 4 times. There is one active player still in the league that has that feat with 4 games with 200 plus receiving yards. Which wide receiver is that?
I think the first name that comes to my mind is DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay. So yeah, Flynn is thinking DeAndre Hopkins. Who are you thinking, Tim?
Okay, so Calvin Johnson and Lance Allworth. Lance Allworth, the best from the pass right there.
Yeah, they had 5 games with 200 plus receiving yards. I'm looking for the active player that did it in 4 games.
Yeah, active player 4 times had at least 200 receiving yards in 1 game. He's an active player, so okay, he's a receiver. This may sound crazy, but because of the great season that he had last year, it was probably the greatest season of his career so far. I'm going to go with Ceedee Lamb.
Let's see. Here.
That doesn't sound good for our guesses, Timmy.
Yeah, I don't see anything listed for Ceedee Lamb. Let's see. Yeah, Flynn, you're on the right track with DeAndre Hopkins. He did it twice. But the player that did it 4 times, I think you're gonna regret this, Tim. It's a player that you are very familiar with.
Okay.
He played for your Dallas Cowboys at one point.
He played for the Cowboys at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wasn't with them for a long time.
Let's see. Let me check the stats here. He was actually with them for 4 seasons.
For 4 years. It was
Oh, I got it. I got it.
years. Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet.
Let's let Tim figure it out. This is from his own team.
Yeah, this is my team, so let me make my guess here. He played for the Cowboys. He was a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And he played for 4 seasons.
Yes.
Oh, Rocket Ishmael.
Who?
Rocket Ishmael.
No, that's not him either. Go ahead, Flynn.
No. I think you know where I'm going with this one, right, Natalie?
Yeah.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right. I deserve that.
I'm going now. I'm gonna go with Amari Cooper.
That's who it was. It was Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
He did it 4 times. Yeah. Other
Yeah,
notable players who did it 4 times. Jerry Rice. Somebody named Hannigan. Tyreek Hill did it 3 times. Isaac Bruce 3 times. Yeah, Jamar Chase twice. AJ Brown twice. AJ Green twice. Those are just a few notable names there.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my trivia question for the week. And then I don't have anything for on this day in NFL history. Nothing special happened that day.
Yeah, I really don't have anything for myself.
Neither do I.
Except Flynn's got another bus ride heading home right now. So
Yeah, because I just got on my. I believe this is I'm on my the right train, so it's gonna take a little while to pull up. It's not leaving for another few minutes, so.
okay, well, all righty then. Well, let me take a look here. I'm looking. Let me. I want to take a look at our fantasy league right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to get the. Yeah, pull up the countdown, dude.
Yep. I'm doing it right now. I'm logged in. Yeah, we're at now. It says 34 days, 21 hours, 6 minutes, and counting. That's our timetable left.
There it is, y'all.
Starting
There
to go
it
down.
is. We're just inching closer and closer with every passing week.
Mm-hmm.
And
this will be the
I'm
time
getting,
to pretty soon. This will be the time to start doing some practice drafts. Get a good feel.
oh yeah. That's probably good advice for all of you watching out there. Maybe get into some mock drafts to get ready for your fantasy leagues draft night coming up very soon, because there'll be leagues drafting here in the next few weeks. Of course, ours is still August 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be ready to draft on that day. Friday, August 30th. It's 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right?
I believe I said that set. Let me double check that. Let me log back in. Let me log back in really quick. Yeah. I think it's listed under. Yeah, it's listed under my time. So it's 6 p.m. where I live. So it'll be 9 p.m. on the East Coast.
9 p.m. on the East Coast, 8 p.m. where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we can plan on going live on that night at
15 minutes prior or 10 minutes prior, something like that.
I think maybe it's maybe more maybe earlier than that, like 20 minutes before.
20 or 30.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. That way we can try to get everybody convened that everyone that's going to be joining us for that night if they're available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, I guess that's going to do it for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Hey, Flynn, tell me about Hooked on Sports. Not only is training camps going on, but the Olympics are here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, did you guys get to catch the opening ceremony earlier? Today. Today because what they did is they did something that's never been seen before is to have both the opening ceremony along a river, the Seine River that goes through Paris, and they had all these boats that transported all the athletes to this temporary stadium and gathering grounds right in
Yeah,
front of the Eiffel Tower.
Wow.
that was interesting.
Oh, I haven't
I
checked.
they executed it so well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I know it's on YouTube somewhere. I'm going to have to check that out. But I also got to check out Hooked on Sports. Flynn, what you got?
Yeah, so yesterday I dropped my annual power rankings of the NFL divisions based solely on their defenses, which is so we went through every defense in the NFL, and that when you're looking at the AFC North, that you have four physical defenses, and Cincinnati's defense is significantly improved compared to last season, and thus why the Bengals are in on my short list of teams that can represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So,
and then we have I think next week we have the MLB trade deadline coming up on Tuesday.
mm-hmm.
You know, so a couple of trades have already been made.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw a couple on the wire here earlier this morning. So we got trade deadline coming up. We got the Olympics, training camps, and the NFL is getting ready. It is getting to be a really, really great time, and not too far away from the start of the NFL season, start of fantasy football, and everything that goes along with it. I'm just getting excited. I hope all y'all are too.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we will go ahead and put a bow on this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. We will reconvene 7 days from tonight. We will be taking a look at the best tight ends. We're going to be helping you out, picking out who you should probably draft for your tight ends in your fantasy league. Hopefully, we've done a very good job helping you out with our list of the best wide receivers. But we're going tight ends this week, and that is going to be next Friday night right here on Fantasy Football Fever. And that is going to do it for this evening. For Mr. Flynn, for Mr. Metalli, I am Mr. McClellan. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great weekend. Have a great week ahead. We'll see you back here next Friday night. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. As always, be a good sport.